Welcome to our second video of planning and organization. So in the previous video, we have discussed on the various aspects of the planning and organization of Early Childhood Education Center. Every child must feel welcomed at early childhood education centers. The environment should be designed to be child-friendly, distinctly different from learning spaces meant for adults. The equipment and infrastructure must cater not only to the general needs of the children, but also to those with different abilities, ensuring accessibility and independence for all. The goal is to create a space where every child can move freely, engage comfortably, and access facilities with minimum assistance. The EC Center should be located in a healthy and safe environment. A clean, well-maintained campus with proper infrastructure fosters a positive learning atmosphere. Classrooms should be equipped with child-sized furniture with rounded edges to ensure safety. The furniture height should allow children to sit comfortably with their feet touching the floor. If mats are used for sitting, they should provide comfort and support to help children focus on their tasks. An inclusive learning environment also extends to the overall infrastructure. School must provide reasonable access to all children, staffs, and visitors. Walkways and doorways should be wide enough for easy passage, and flooring must be firm, durable, and slip resistant. So, what are the key inclusive features of early childhood education centers? First is proper ventilation. Adequate ventilation is essential for a healthy learning environment. Classrooms should allow for natural light and airflow, creating a comfortable and fresh atmosphere for children. Secondly, safe and even flooring. The flooring should be even and non-slippery. Uneven surfaces pose a risk, especially for children who use wheelchairs or have mobility challenges. Third is child-friendly furniture. Furniture should be appropriately sized for young children. Chairs and tables should allow comfortable sitting with feet touching the floor and legs positioned naturally. Then accessible playground. Playgrounds are vital in early childhood education centers, which offer children opportunities for physical activity and social interaction. The surface should be even and free of hazards, making it accessible for all children. Then next is secure boundary walls. The center should have boundary walls for safety, ensuring children remain within a secure environment while protecting them from external hazards. Then ramps and steps. So ramps should be installed alongside steps to facilitate movement for children with mobility challenges. This ensures everyone can navigate the space without barrier. Then accessible toilets. Washrooms should be designed to accommodate children of all abilities. Those using wheelchairs must be able to approach, enter, and use the sanitary facilities independently. Then next we have spacious classrooms. Classrooms should be large enough to allow easy movement for all children, including those using mobility aids. So sufficient space helps prevent overcrowding and supports an organized learning environment. Then next is clear signage. Signage with large, high contrast text and symbols should be used to assist partially sighted individuals and navigating space. Then, for inclusive environment, different essential equipments are needed so that the environment can be engaging. So, how we can, make our learning environment engaging? So, providing the right equipment in early childhood care and education centers, it is crucial for fostering exploration, creativity, and holistic development. So, first of all, we can use, low height shelves for easy access. Shelves should be at a child friendly height so that young learners can easily see, reach, and select materials independently. This encourages self directed learning and exploration. Next is safe, clean, and well maintained materials. So, learning materials should be non toxic. It should be free from sharp edges and it should be regularly cleaned to ensure safety and hygiene. There should be enough materials available so that children can engage in group activities without conflicting over resources. Next is developmentally appropriate play materials. The materials provided, that are used in early childhood education centers should match the age, abilities, and learning needs of the children. They should support all aspects of development, including cognitive, physical, social, and emotional growth. For example, it may be puzzles for problem solving, then building blocks for special skills, and sensory toys for fine motor development. Then we have, varied learning experiences can be given to the students. So, different equipments can be included and equipment should be diverse, which should cater to the different interest and learning styles of the students. It should encourage children to experiment and explore concepts such as cause and effect, patterns, problem solving, and creativity. So for example, sand and water play areas promote scientific thinking. Then while art station, it can foster self expression. Then we have, child accessible arrangement. Materials and equipment should be arranged in a way that children can access them without adult assistance. This fosters independence, decision making, and responsibility for, tidying up after use. Then we have to encourage, diversity and inclusion. So the equipment should reflect and respect diverse backgrounds, abilities, and cultures. So different equipments used in the centers like dolls, books, then role play materials should represent various ethnicities, genders, and abilities which can promote inclusivity and social awareness. So this along with that, the both indoor and outdoor equipment should be used with rotation. So learning should not be confined to the classroom. Outdoor play equipments like slides, climbing, structures, and stand pits. This complement indoor resources such as books, puzzle, and craft materials. Rotating equipment based on evolving needs and interest of the children, it keeps the learning environment dynamic and engaging. Then we have to promote motor skills and sensory exploration and creativity. The equipment should support both gross motor development like running, jumping, climbing, then fine motor skill like grasping, cutting, sticking. So sensory rich materials such as textured objects, musical instrument, and painting tools, it help children to explore different senses. Additionally, materials that allow children to construct, deconstruct, and express themselves artistically contribute to problem solving and creativity. So it is very essential that some materials should be displayed and at the centers should be designed with clearly defined activity corners as we discussed in our previous video. The materials should be, displayed in an accessible and inviting manner. So proper organization and display of materials not only optimize their use but also foster curiosity, creativity, and problem solving skills among young learners. So now we will discuss how to organize activity corners for effective learning. First one is reading corner. So a designated space with age appropriate books. It encourages early literacy skills. Children begin to understand how books work, identifying the front and back covers, learning how to turn the pages, and developing an interest in stories and illustrations. So, comfortable sitting like floor cushions, mats, or small chairs makes this space welcoming. Then, dramatic play corner. So, role playing and pretend play are essential for cognitive and social development. So, this area can include dolls, toy, food, made of clay, fruits, and vegetables. So, then dress up clothes, mirrors, combs, kitchen sets, and other objects that allow children to act out real life scenarios. So engaging in role play, it helps children understand different perspectives. It develops communication skills and practice problem solving. The next is block and puzzle corner. So building blocks and puzzles enhance critical thinking, problem solving, and spatial awareness. So these materials introduce concepts of size, then colors, then different shapes and balance while allowing for open-ended explorations. So blocks can be of different textures, sizes, and materials, and it can promote sensory learning. Then we have creative corner. So this space allows children to explore art and craft activities that enhance fine motor skills which are needed for writing. So materials in this area, it can include crayons, pencils, washable markers, color chalks, then different types of paper and fabric, then paints, brushes, glue, tape, polydough, clay, rolling pins and boards. Then we can have magazines, then old newspapers for collages. Then we can use also ice cream sticks and craft materials. It encourages self-expression and imagination through hand-on activities. Next is writing corner. So writing corner, it helps children to explore early writing and literacy skills in non-pressurized way. It should include slates, chalk, paper, pencil, stencils, and letter tracing sheets to encourage pre-writing activities. This area should allow children to write freely without adult-directed instruction, promoting natural curiosity about written language. Then we can have science and exploration corner. So this area supports hands-on learning about basic scientific concepts through play and observation. It should be equipped with, different materials like magnifying glass, then seeds, plants, soil samples, then magnets, measuring tapes, balance scales, wheels, and weights. So simple experiment kits to encourage exploration. It helps in developing critical thinking, observation skills, and early scientific reasoning. Then we have music and movement corner. So a space to relax, unwind, and express emotions through music and movement. It should be equipped with various musical instruments such as bells, bowls, flutes, drums, dhools, then string instruments, tape recorders, CDs or digital music players with songs and rhymes, cups, ribbons or props for creative movements. It encourages rhythm, coordination and self-expression. So along with the designated space for different materials and activities, it is essential to maintain and organize materials for maximum engagement. And for this, we have to do certain things. Firstly, clearly label everything. So labels should be used on containers, shelves and storage bins with both text and pictures, which help children recognize where materials belong. Then rotate, we have to rotate materials regularly. So changing materials periodically keeps children interested and prevents boredom. So introducing new puzzles, new books, toys or art supplies and it encourages fresh exploration and learning. Then we have to encourage responsibility. So children should be taught how to return materials to their designated places after use. So teachers should model and reinforce these behaviors, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility. So by thoroughly arranging and displaying materials, the early childhood education centers, it can maximize learning opportunities, promote self-directed exploration and create an engaging, inclusive environment where different children feel empowered to discover, create and grow. So children should be engaged in self-directed tasks, which helps them to explore their interests, different activities, and helps them to decide for themselves. So how to do that? How to direct the children to do for themselves. So first of all, we have to offer them different choices. So providing children with options, it allows to take ownership of their learning. So when given choices, children develop decision-making skills, independence and confidence. So for example, allowing them to choose between different activities, books or art supplies encourage engagement. Then clear goals. We have to set up specific and age-appropriate goals which help children to understand what they are learning and why. Goals should be simple and achievable, which fosters the sense of accomplishment. For example, a goal could be, learning to recognize and name colors or practicing how to share with friends. Then we have to have a stimulating environment. So a rich, interactive learning space, it encourages curiosity and creativity. The environment should include engaging materials, bright visuals, and hands-on activities and comfortable seating. A well-designed learning space motivates children to explore, interact, and learn. Next is exploration. Children learn best through active discovery and hands-on experiences, which encourages them to touch, observe, manipulate, and experiment, which fosters a love for learning. For example, a science corner with magnifying glass and plants can help children to explore nature. Then open-ended questions. Asking thought-provoking questions instead of giving direct answers encourages critical thinking. For example, we can ask, instead of asking, what color is this apple? Ask, what do you think will happen if we cut the apple? And open-ended questions, it helps children to express their thoughts, analyze situations, and develop thought-provoking skills and problem-solving skills. Next is interest. So learning should be centered around children's natural interests to keep them engaged. So teachers and caregivers should, observe what excites a child and integrate those interests into activities. For example, if a child loves animals, using books, puzzles, and pretend play related to animals can make learning more enjoyable for him. Then we have, modeling. We can do modeling. So teachers and caregivers, they can demonstrate desired behavior, skills, or thought process for children to observe and imitate. For example, a teacher shows how to hold a pencil properly or solve a puzzle step by step before asking children to try. So modeling helps children understand expectations and learn through observation. Next is scaffolding. So this refers to provide structured support to help children accomplish tasks they cannot do independently yet. So as children gain confidence and skill, support is gradually reduced, allowing them to do it on their own. So for example, when teaching writing, a teacher might start by, tracing letters with a child, then move to dotted lines, and finally let the child write freely. Then we have to celebrate their efforts. So recognizing and appreciating children's efforts rather than just achievements encourages persistence and confidence. For example, we can say, I love how you tried different ways to build that tower instead of only praising success. So celebrating small progress motivates children to keep learning and growing. Then we have peer collaboration. So encouraging children to work together in pairs or groups fosters social skills, teamwork, and shared learning. For example, group activities like solving a puzzle, then building with blocks, or storytelling together, it promotes cooperative learning. Through peer collaboration, children learn from each other's strengths and perspective. Then we can, use technology. So using age appropriate technology, it can enhance learning and make it more interactive. For example, educational apps, interactive whiteboards, or storytelling videos, it can engage children in a new way. However, technology should not be used, it should be used in moderation and balanced with hands-on activities. Then reflection. We should encourage children to think about what they learned and how they felt and what they would do differently. It builds self-awareness. For example, after an activity, a teacher might ask, what did you enjoy the most? What was challenging? And what would you try next time? So reflection, it helps children to develop critical thinking skills and a growth mindsets. So by incorporating the strategies, the teachers can create a supportive, cognitive and effective learning environment which nurtures both cognitive and emotional development and which helps in self-directed learning. We should remember that while utilizing or selecting materials, certain considerations should be made. As we are selecting different materials for the small children, it should be appropriate for them and they should be benefited by it. So the first consideration is that it should be multi-purpose. So learning materials and furniture should be versatile and adaptable for different activities. So examples, a low table can be used for writing, art activities and even role-playing games, making it more functional and it can be used for different activities. Then it should be safe for children. So materials and furniture should be non-toxic, have smooth edges and be free from small detachable parts that could be shocking hazards. Then it should be durable. Material should be long-lasting and withstand frequent use by young children. So for example, wooden blocks and high quality fabric cushions last longer compared to fragile plastic toys that may break easily. So it should be culturally and environmentally appropriate. Learning resources should reflect the local culture and values while being eco-friendly to promote sustainability. For example, using handmade clay dolls, then traditional musical instruments or indigenous storytelling books, it helps children to relate their heritage. So bamboo or recycled materials can be used for furniture and toys. Then balance and equip different activity corners. Materials should support varied learning areas such as reading, dramatic play, art, science, sensory exploration, and a classroom. It may have reading corner with with a picture books, an art section with paints, and a science table with magnifying glasses, and a pretend play area with costumes. So learning materials in early childhood education centers can come from three main sources. we can purchase it from market, we can improvise, we can improve it by using different things, or we can create by using locally available materials. So teachers work within a set budget to ensure that all activities and learning experiences are well resourced. For sustainability, they should prioritize reusable and cost effective materials that can be repurposed across different activity corners, because we have to use cost effective materials because we have certain budget constraints. So first of all, we will discuss about reusable play materials. So reusing materials means utilizing them multiple times for their original purpose. So it reduces waste and ensures long-term usability. So items that are refurbished or pre-owned can still serve their educational function without significant alterations. For example, a handmade cloth ball can be used repeatedly for play and for motor skill development and group activities. Then we have improvised materials. So improvised materials serve as effective substitutes when original or ideal learning resources are unavailable. So these materials are creatively designed to achieve the same learning outcomes. For example, instead of purchasing an expensive solar system model, a teacher can create one using colored ball of different sizes, strings and glue to represent planets and their orbits. This hands-on approach enhances conceptual understanding and creativity. Then we have locally available materials. To minimize costs and encourage sustainability, teachers can create learning materials using readily available resources. So, upcycling household or natural items, it helps reduce expenses while promoting environmental responsibility. So, there are some examples like, old and clean clothes for making soft toys or puppets. Then we can use bottle caps for, counting games or color sorting activities. Then we can, old tires for outdoor play and gross motor activities. Then plastic bottles for sensory learning. Then rainmakers or planters. We have wooden toys, coconut shells, then used paper. It can be they are locally available and they can be used for different purposes. So by adopting a blend of purchased, improvised and locally sourced materials, the teacher can enhance the learning environment while promoting sustainability and creativity. So this approach not only reduces financial strain but also encourages hands-on engagement, problem solving and eco-consciousness among young learners. So hope you have understood what we have discussed today. So we have discussed different things, like how to organize the activity corners, what type of equipment should be used to make this early childhood education center accessible for the students, young children, and how to use different types of materials so that our learning environment can be enhanced. So this is all for today. Thank you.